Welcome to Defense Line. The subject of this video is the 5th generation J-31 aircraft, which is China's biggest theft. As you can see, this plane looks very similar to the F-35 plane. Both the design and systems of the aircraft can prove this. Because the Chinese stole important information about the F-35 jet from the Americans. Thanks to the hackers, all the information about this plane was stolen. So how did China copy this plane? Are the technical specs of the J-31 better than the F-35? Let me start examining. Chinese Army. An army that has recently received no weapons from another country, but copied every system. So much so that the Chinese produced more, although they copied some systems from the Russians. It can be said that they stole, let's not say copying. Of course, allegations of being stolen are not only shown in one case. There are a lot of examples, especially in the past. Even the Chinese aviation culture comes from this copy and paste method. If we talk about it a little bit, the J-15 aircraft is the best example of this. They even stole the most difficult aircraft carriers to build. This aircraft is generally a replica of the Su-33. So a Russian plane. As a design, the Su-33 has been tried to be made one-to-one. In addition to the Su-33, the J-31 aircraft was built using Chinese avionics. The principles of the Chinese are like this: take, examine, steal, do the same. It is discussed how much culture it is called. Let's talk about how they copied so successfully. Because even copying technology is a very difficult task. A country with Chinese money. It is one click behind America right now. So the Chinese have no shortage of resources. The Chinese can do as much R&D as they want. However, as their needs and goals were high, they had to do the best in the fastest way possible. The remedy for this, of course, is reverse engineering. What this means is that you learn to the finest detail of any product. In this way, you can easily do it after learning the product. However, every good thing also has a problem. There is a cost problem in reverse engineering. China, for example, quickly spent tens of billions of dollars to duplicate a standard engine production. Let's examine which part of the J-31 aircraft copied which aircraft. First of all, we need to know this. There is no exact information about the J-31 aircraft. We will make interpretations by looking at the shape of the plane and the claims. So let's first look at its striking design. The first distinctive design that we come across in this section is the places where it gets air. It is possible to say that these places were taken from the F-35. Especially the performance of the F-35 comes from this part. Because air inlet directly contributes to the power and radar footprint of the aircraft. For China to achieve the same performance, it must be able to steal the project literally. However, even if he plays this piece, he cannot achieve the same success. Next, let's look at the tail section. There is a great similarity here. These tails used for vertical stabilization affect the radar track. Of course, these effects can be positive and negative. We say that since China cannot design from scratch, it can get into such a business by stealing the F-35 information. Almost all of the design has been stolen, although it is called a claim that they stole it briefly. So is this plane completely stolen? No. The double engine is seen behind the plane. In F-35, this number is an odd number. Since China wanted to be effective over long distances, it wanted to completely remove problems such as range. Even with fuel tanks, the range could be up to 2,000. In this section, the Chinese have a new generation radar. Allegedly, this radar contains high quantum technology. Since the Chinese have similar ground radar, it would be a mistake to expect such a radar. But it will have an Aesa radar of at least 120 kilometers. Then there is a passive infrared seeker that supports this radar. This seeker will be able to detect any target without emitting radio signals. So the J-31 will be able to see the target opposite without being noticed. The name of this system is EOTS-89. According to the claim of the company that made this system, it could be effective against F-22 aircraft over 110 kilometers. This is quite enough to see and prevent the fired missiles. In our opinion, China's achievement of this situation may cause American Navy aviation to change its doctrine. Using this system on the J-31 would be really dangerous. Not only that, the Chinese have missile warning systems that are effective at a distance of 10 kilometers. The plane wasn't built just like that. It has an infrastructure that provides a really great flow of information. It suits the definition of a fifth-generation aeroplane. To better understand this, let's move on to the part where all this incoming data is collected. So in the cockpit. In the cockpit, we can see a modern structure. especially since they steal information from the F-22 and F-35. It is extremely difficult to make such advanced planning. There are countless sensors and technologies in fifth-generation aircraft. That's why they made the J-31's cockpit quite well. As you can see, there is a very large monitor in the cockpit. It is covered with a canopy to prevent light leakage. Apart from the main monitor, most things are added as plain and simple. In summary, we can say that the cockpit has one of the best planning. This is very important both for the training of the pilot and for the time of war. Let's say this part was stolen in good quality, and let's look at the body part. In the body part, there is a distance of 11 meters between the two wings. It is quite large compared to the F-35. However, we can say that the body gun carrying capacity of the J-31 is equivalent to the F-35. Because this part is 2 meters wide. The low payload of such a long-range aircraft like the F-35 in ghost mode may cause it to be inefficient. In addition, the length of J-31 is 18 meters. In particular, the large engines made the aircraft long. With such cutting-edge technology they stole, the Klimov 93 engine on the plane is not really good. So much so that Russia also used MiG-29s with a lower level than the F-16. You consider this situation. Even because of this engine, the J-31 aircraft can be shot down quite easily on the battlefield. Although China claims to use new engines, it is quite a matter of time for them to steal and develop. In short, this engine has not been on this plane. The main problem is the use of this engine. Kilometers. Of course, this is just a claim. That's why the size and weight of the aircraft have been increased. In general, the J-31 plane is a bigger plane than the F-35. But no matter what, replicating a fifth-generation aeroplane is almost impossible. That's why they had to arrange the places they played in their own way. Of course, they also used basic information. That's why we come to examine its features, as it is not the same as the F-35. Let's see if it could be one of the best aircraft in the world. Before I start, I must say again that there is no clear information about the characteristics of the J-31 aircraft. We interpret predictions and analysis. Of course, I also include my comments. Let's start from the front of the plane first. So let's move on to weapon systems. The situation is similar to other situations. The Chinese are developing a missile called Place-21. The difference between this missile from other missiles is that it burns fuel with the air it receives from outside. And when it speeds up, it turns itself off and saves range. It can be appreciated that China succeeds in this. China's use of these missiles is a huge problem for America. These missiles pose a bigger problem than the J-31 aircraft. As the further claim, this missile has an effective range of 150 kilometers. If successful, these missiles are the only problem for America. Not only that, but different models with very large dimensions and a range of 300 kilometers are also available. It is even known that this missile was sold to Pakistan. The Chinese do not have a problem with the missile. Moreover, there are many bombs and ammunition stolen by the Chinese. In other words, if they put the plane into mass production, they have no shortage of ammunition. They can equip very well. As a result, the J-31 aircraft is a 4.5-generation aircraft that was stolen and produced from the F-22 and F-35 aircraft. At the end of the day, although it has new engines and weapons, it may have more severe problems than the F-35. Because you get the problems of a product that you copied and produced in the same way. It could not start mass production yet due to the difficulties of the J-31 aircraft. They are still expected to be completed. Metallurgy did not reach the knowledge of materials, although China, in general, did a good job. Unfortunately, you cannot learn how an advanced material is produced. Because, for example, advanced composites are produced by going through 20 different techniques. You cannot produce them just by examining them. That's why they couldn't build the engine. Since the planes are not able to produce the same material inside, let's finish the video by saluting the jet that China will use in the future in pain. You can respond to this effort by liking the video, and you can make it easier to follow new videos by subscribing. See you.